Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto Podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. All right, guys, we got some breaking news here. The SEC has charged Genesis and Gemini for the unregistered offer and sale of crypto securities through Gemini Earn. SEC Chair Gary Gensler tweeted out, "Crypto intermediaries need to comply with our securities laws. This protects investors. It promotes trust in markets. It's not optional. It's the law." Now, a lot to unpack here. One, Genesis and Gemini, we know, has been an ongoing dispute for weeks now. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, the founders of Gemini, have been calling out Barry Silbert, the founder of Digital Currency Group, which owns Genesis, Grayscale, and so forth. The Winklevoss twins sent an open letter. There's been a Twitter back and forth, and it really sucks because the Gemini Earn users are the ones that are getting hurt here. There's over $900 million of their capital stuck on Genesis. And of course, Genesis has been looking for a bailout. Now, here comes professional grade A clown Gary Gensler after the fact, coming to look to charge these companies, essentially pulling money out of their pockets when they're trying to resolve the issue to get the funds back to the users. So Gary comes in after the fact and acts like a hero. See, we did our job. No, you didn't. You were supposed to be investigating and looking into all these companies in the crypto industry to make sure they're doing the right things with the funds, they have reserves, and their business is in order to protect investors. But Gary Gensler was too busy keeping up with the Kardashians, right? His 2022 highlight was he fined Kim Kardashian a couple $1 million. Yeah, Kim Kardashian is the one who lost billions upon billions of dollars. No, Gary missed Celsius Network. He missed Voyager. He missed 3 Hours Capital. He missed Terra Luna. And of course, the big whale, which one he missed, FTX. Billions of dollars lost. And the other interesting part of it, and we're going to get more details as he has to go in front of Congress to talk about this. He met with Sam Bankman-Fried multiple times and FTX officials multiple times, but this so-called cop on the beat didn't do his job. He didn't investigate, and Sam was running a big-time fraud, but Gary didn't care about that. Gary is trying to slow down crypto. He's not being proactive. He's being reactive. And once things go bad, that's when he shows up and pretends like he's the hero. Remember what they did to BlockFi? BlockFi, of course, we know now in bankruptcy. You think they could have used that $100 million they had to pay the SEC for a fine, right? That's not protecting users. It's ridiculous what is happening here. This guy needs to be impeached, or we got to put enough pressure on him that he has to resign, because this is nonsense. And of course, the crypto community is responding to this. Everybody is calling him out like, you're an idiot, you're a hypocrite, you're a clown because you're coming in after the fact. Where were you before looking into these companies, right? So the SEC put out a letter here, or a release, on their website. They said the SEC today charged Genesis Global Capital, LLC, and Gemini Trust Company, LLC, for the unregistered offer and sale of securities to retail investors through the Gemini Earn crypto asset lending platform. Through this unregistered offering, Genesis and Gemini raised billions of dollars worth of crypto assets from hundreds of thousands of investors. Investigations into other security law violations and other entities and persons related to the alleged misconduct are ongoing. According to the complaint, in December 2020, Genesis, part of the subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, entered into an agreement with Gemini to offer Gemini customers, including retail investors in the US, an opportunity to loan their crypto assets to Genesis in exchange for Genesis' promise to pay interest. It goes on and so forth. But once again, where was the SEC prior to all this? Why weren't they investigating Genesis, right? This is complete and utter failure on the part of Gary Gensler and the SEC. And of course, the crypto community are calling him out. So Ryan Selkis tweeted out, he's a founder of Masari. Gensler attacked Coinbase, cozied up to Sam Bankman-Fried, the biggest fraud since Bernie Madoff, spit in the face of retail investors by rejecting spot ETFs, and spent more time finding bankrupt entities and Kardashians than fixing problems. He's a crooked cop on the beat, not a public servant. Spot on. Spot on. This guy has to be kicked out. This is completely pathetic. Now, we got members of Congress calling him out as well. Congressman Tom Emmer, he tweeted out, Gary Gensler is once again late to the game, protecting no one. He says, protecting in quotation marks. Quite clear that his political regulation through enforcement strategy hurts everyday Americans. He said, Gary Gensler, when can we expect proactive guidance instead of leaving the industry to interpret the rules of the road through your after-the-fact enforcement actions? So even members of Congress recognize this. Now, the important part here is that Tom Emmer, who I've interviewed multiple times, and I'll have him back on the show, he said once the Republicans take the House back, they have the gavel in their hand. And I'm expecting them to hold Gary Gensler accountable. Many of you may have seen my interview with Representative Bill Huizenga, who's also part of that committee, and he was sworn in as the chairman of the House Financial Committee today. So in my interview, we talked about how will you be holding Gary Gensler accountable? And he outlined that in the interview. If you haven't seen that, please go watch that interview. And I'm expecting, once again, Gary Gensler to get grilled. They're going to pull him in, and they can control the funding that goes to the SEC, whether they want to cut some of it off, or how he's able to use that funding. So he's going to be in the hot seat. And I also want to share something here that crypto Wendy O, many of you know her as Wendy O, she had a pretty good tweet here where she kind of summarized what's happening. She said, you charge them after the fact. This impacts retail, less money to go around, legal fees plus fines. It's like running a stop sign that wasn't there and giving someone a ticket. Please give clear guidelines that bolster positive growth. So once again, him coming in after the fact further hurts the retail investors. It's insult to injury, right? Because it's not helping the retail investors. You're going to go grab more fines and put more legal fees on Genesis and Gemini, which are already trying to get the money back to the retail investors. See how this is bad, guys? But he gets to put on his resume, oh, I charged Genesis and Gemini. See, I did my job. No, you didn't. Grade A professional clown this guy is, and he needs to be kicked out of office. Now, here I want to end it off with attorney John Deaton's 2023 predictions as it relates to the Ripple lawsuit. He said, 1, the Ripple case does not settle until after we get a decision from Judge Torres. Number 2, an exchange, maybe more than one, is sued for selling unregistered securities. Number 3, investigation into SB fraud. Sam Bankman-Fried meetings uncovers bad, and he has a poop emoji. 4, Gary Gensler resigns before the end of the year. Let's hope these things are correct. But it looks like number 2, where exchange gets sued for unregistered securities, Gemini could be considered that because Gemini is a crypto exchange. But once again, Gary Gensler coming after the fact, and it just adds more pain to the situation, and it doesn't help retail. So unbelievable what's happening here. This guy's I gotta watch my language, because if I really said how I felt, this video can get taken down. I could get, I don't know, Gary may sue me for saying stuff about him. But anyway, just unbelievable what's happening, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. And we got to keep fighting here, guys. And I'm hoping Congressman Tom Emmer, Bill Huizenga, and these folks can keep him accountable and push him to give regulatory clarity, work with Congress to pass clear regulations this year, because this stuff is getting unbelievable. Once again, it does not help investors. It does not help the average investor. Gary just wants to add another line item to his resume. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you all later.